Hey, thanks for joining us on the show. How's your
No
winter
worries.
going over there?
Pretty good. Pretty good so far. Been a decent start to the year. It's actually been pretty mild winter up till now, but it's about to get real cold. We're about to get like a shitload of snow. So yeah,
Ah,
well,
man.
ask me in a week. But it should be sweet. Should be good.
You should have come to Australia a little bit later, hey? You
I
just
know. Tell me
here in
about it.
September. Yeah.
Yeah, we should have tactically booked it, get away from the snow. But nah, I mean, it's gonna be near. We're about to head into a US tour as well, so yeah, just bracing ourselves for the cold. But hey, I don't mind it too much. It's a nice little change. But yeah, it's been good so far. Had a good Christmas, good New Year. Obviously, album's out pretty soon, so
Yeah.
just it's kind of the calm before the storm a little bit. Like I'm kind of trying to take it easy and just just enjoy the peace and quiet before it all gets crazy.
Hit the ground running. I mean, I think this year is going to be a really busy for you. I mean, this album is incredible. Neck Deep is self-titled. Do you
Yeah,
call it Neck Deep? Neck Deep,
yeah. I
Neck Deep.
guess if
It's
you
like
want to
it's
call
a
it self-titled,
roll,
yeah.
you
I've
know.
been calling it the self-titled. I keep saying self-titled, so yeah, yeah.
It's kind of fun saying Neck Deep, because see how many times
Mm.
you can say that without,
Neck deep by neck
Anyway,
deep by neck deep. Yeah.
well, man, I have to say this album is really, really good. I've been
Thank you.
listening to it over the last few days. But one thing I will say is I've got a bone to pick with you about it.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't expect
Okay.
this, did you?
No,
So,
I like bone picking. Let's go.
all right, let's go. Cause on Monday, I believe I get it. I was in a real down the dumps kind of thing. I was a moody weirdo. Last track on the album,
Nice.
and man, I gotta say, I was like, oh, I was listening to my sad boy shit, and I was just in a bit of a funk. And then I was
Mhm.
like, okay, I'll start listening to this album, see where it takes me. I'll prep the thing, and it lifted me out of my shitty mood
Good.
and put me in this good mood. And I don't know if you ever get that way where you're like, I just want to just be a grumpy bastard for a while,
Oh
and then
yeah.
it just dragged me out of it. So yeah,
Amazing.
got to say about that,
Amazing.
making me have fun and feel good.
Making you feel things, making you
Yeah,
giving you the full spectrum of human emotion. God. Yeah, no, that's what we try and do. Yeah, that's what we try and do. We try and be an arm around the shoulder, in the tough times. And but I think it also works the other way too. I think if you're in a good place, it's still good, feel good music that's kind of vibey and energetic too. So works in all situations. But I think that's the thing that we've kind of cultivated as a band over the years is lyrics that people can kind of whether they know it or not, kind of maybe sum up how they're feeling. I think that's a beautiful thing about music. Sometimes, like, I mean, it doesn't even have to be words; it can just be a sonic thing, But it does. It sort of quantifies all your feelings and puts all your feelings into sounds and words and emotions. So, if we can do that for anyone, then to me, that's a sign of good music. That's the music I love. The music that can make me feel something immediately. The second you hit play, the second that song comes on, it immediately puts you in, that state of mind of that song. And if we can do that, then hey, we've done something right. So yeah, definitely the
absolutely,
intentional move. So yeah, we got you
absolutely.
hook, line, and sinker. We got you, man. We got
You
you.
did actually, and then last few days I've been listening to it in the car on my drive to work, and it had the other effect. I'm like, I'm in a good mood, and I was like ready to part, set me up for the day. So you,
Cool.
as you said, you got all those range of emotions, but it
Mhm.
is it is definitely one of those albums where it's like that friend that comes over and picks you up off the couch, say, let's go for a skate, have a beer. You
Yeah,
know, it's perfect,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, thank you very, very much. Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I think pop punk has always kind of been a little bit of that, there's always been a nostalgia element and this element of like maybe a reminder of like better times. I don't know if that's like
Yes,
kind of part of it a little bit too. So but it's always the intention, we didn't want to write music that's just a collection of sort of meaningless songs, a lot. so much, especially popular music these days. Like I'm always looking for like okay, what's the song about? What's this hook lyric? What am I looking for? What's this song supposed to be making me feel? And so much music I feel like just doesn't feel like anything. It just makes you
Yes.
feel nothing, which is not a criticism to anyone or anything. Like, music is music and it's all subjective. But I personally, and I think people who listen to pop punk are looking to feel something when they listen to music. So yeah, definitely an intentional thing there. And yeah, I think especially more so with this record too. I think we were, one of our breakout record, Life's Not Out to Get You, was like this super positive, like almost like naively positive to a fault almost kind of record. Like we were super young and just full of beans and very positive. And I think not that we moved away from that, but we grew up a little bit, and so the message became a little bit more realistic. But we've kind of pulled back a little bit of that more positive kind of outlook with the music and the more positive kind of guide to life type lyrics. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's yeah, feels good to be able to to feel like we want to push that message again. I think we were maybe being moody weirdos for a couple years and being kind of grumpy, and yeah, I think we shook ourselves out of our own funk a little bit with this one.
And of course, it is a departure from the last album. All distortions are intentional as well. You're probably
Mhm.
getting asked about that. It's more a return to that pop punk
Yeah.
sound. Was that always the plan? You're like, oh, we're gonna dip our toes in this at a bit of different direction and then swing back around, or was it just letting it come naturally?
I think it came kind of naturally, to be honest. I think like with all distortions, like that was the record we wanted to make at the time. We
Mhm.
were kind of like we really didn't want to make like a straight up pop punk record at that time. I think just because maybe we've been doing that for a while and creatively and artistically wanted to push the boat out a little bit. And so with this record, it did feel natural. It felt like, okay, cool. Now we've got the mental space and the perspective to kind of get back to what we're about and write a good pop punk record. I think if we'd attempted to write a pop punk record on for all distortions, then we would have just ended up in this, it would have been maybe a little stale, or it wouldn't have been the record that we
Mm.
needed to make, and it wouldn't have led us to making this record. Maybe this record would have been the one that we would have had to push the boat out on. So, um, yeah, it definitely a departure. Definitely learned a lot from the last record, and I think just overall, like post COVID and just dealing with life as it comes, whether it's personal stuff, whether it's stressful band stuff. I think it allowed us a lot of time to reflect and take a step back and kind of look at what we love about Neck Deep, like where we came from and how it started and all the processes involved there. And then also just like what people loved out of Neck Deep and what people expected out of Neck Deep. I think any artist can get ahead of themselves and think like, well, I need to evolve and I need to be more and bigger and I need to I need to show people, this other side of me. And yeah, I think every artist does need to do that to an extent, but at the same time, I think there's a lot of merit and to keeping it simple and doing what you're good at and doing what people like. And I think once you get over the hump of like, I'm an artist and I must express myself, once you like kind of put that to bed a little bit and you just go, oh, you know what, actually, I'm just going to have fun writing music that I like. It generally breeds a more successful and a more kind of, yeah, just a record that you end up being a lot happier with, really. So yeah, I think taking a step back worked for us, really.
And one thing in regards to that, okay, so I don't know if you saw the video recently that got posted where it's like AFI 1996 or something like that, and it's
Mm.
like early show, and it's like they're all baby faced. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
They're playing in a venue the size of this room, and everyone's packed in, and there's something about that raw energy. You'll never get to see that version of that band again. You know what
yeah.
I mean?
Hmm.
In terms of your band, do you ever go back and watch your early material, early stuff, early shows, and just sort of see how far you've come and try and reconnect with that same person you were?
Well, I wouldn't go back and watch videos, but we did have there was a moment where we had that, and that was when because we did some anniversary shows for our first two
Hmm.
EPs. It was the 10-year anniversary of our first release, and so we played a few special, like really small, like a couple hundred cap rooms, no barriers, like taking it back to where we started really, and doing that I think was part of a cool process, like part of this process for us too, where we were like, yeah, this is where we came from, this is what we do, this is how we made our name, and this is what almost kind of comes naturally to us, this is what we grew up loving, and you start a band and you get some success and the shows get bigger, and I love playing big massive multiple thousand people shows with a barrier and stuff. They're very different shows, but being able to get up close and personal with people, playing the songs that did so much for us and so much to the people who are there, that was a really sick reminder of like, yeah, this is what it's about, this is the energy that we need to bottle up and make a record out of, so yeah, definitely had a few moments like that when we were playing those old songs and playing those kind of those small shows. I was like, this is what it's about, this is at the core of who we are and how we started as a band, and so we can take that and run with it. It's not like we're going to be fair, by the end of playing those anniversary shows, we were kind of sick of the songs a little bit, or at least I was. There were definitely moments where I was like fucking, questioning songwriting things, like, God, why did we do that? That's so lame. Or that lyric, not singing lyrics because I'm like, God, that lyric's cringy. Just like, I'm gonna give that one away. But yeah, definitely gave us a lot of perspective, and it was really cool to like revisit the formative years of the band, and you know pay it respect. I think that's what it is. I think it's doing yourself justice by staying true to who you are. Not forgetting who you are, and remembering why you love what you do and why fans love what you do too. So yeah, huge part of it. Sometimes you got to look back to move forward.
That's right. And I think a lot of bands should do that. I think there should be a point in their career where they hit that and they go, all right, we got to go back to the beginning and then reconnect
Yeah,
there. We go forward.
I feel
100%.
like it's got to be natural though, and I feel like you got to want to do
Mm.
it. Because if you go back to it and you don't actually want to go back to doing it, I think that shows, and I think fans can see through that stuff straight away. If it doesn't seem genuine, it doesn't seem real.
It's
I think
the
fans pick up on that
passion.
sort of stuff. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Whereas I think with this one, like we genuinely were like, yeah, this feels right, and this is what we want to do. And again, we made the record ourselves, and that's how we did it back in the day. So I think even just by default of there, like not being that extra person in the room, that extra opinion, and it all just being, um, our own decision. Every creative decision we made was totally our own, and so I think that we had to be proud of that and we had to
Mm.
believe in that. And so I think, the process and the kind of the development over the years and that, yeah, the natural progression to where we've got, because as much as it's a return to, return to sort of some of the core elements of Neck Deep, I think it's still got a new edge to it. It's still got something
Absolutely.
that you can't quite quantify that separates it from the other stuff too. So while it's a look back and it's a bit of a return to 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 our core, like it's still a progression and it's still pushing the band forward and it's still fresh. It doesn't feel stale and repeated and tried. It feels as though it's still a new approach. Just taking the best bits of where we came from, really, and applying that to the songwriters and the people that we are now.
That's a good way of putting it. 100%.
Mm.
100%, man. And man, you got to mentioning before, you've got a big year ahead. You're going to be playing, was it the We Were Young festival?
Yeah, yeah. When we
Oh,
were young, that's going to be great. Yeah, we're going to be playing a 10-year anniversary set for that one too, but of our kind of breakout record, Life's Not Out to Get You. So
yeah.
that should be good. Yeah, maybe we'll have another little dose of the nostalgia and go, yeah, this is. Yeah, I think it'll be another confirmation that we're back on the right track. When we see people singing those old songs and we see how much it means to people, it'll be a nice bit of motivation to keep on down that path, I think.
And some of the other bands playing like some there. Like you got Jimmy Eat World doing Bleed American in full. You got
Yeah,
Coheed doing good Apollo. Man, if my wife like she that's all her jam. I wish I could take
yeah.
her over and we just spend the weekend. Hey, if we win lotto, you never know. But is there anyone on that
Yeah.
field that you're looking forward to seeing their set as well that is doing their own celebrations?
Yeah, I mean, obviously my chem is a huge one.
Mm.
That's going to be great. I actually can't remember who's on the lineup off the top of my head. But there was a few. I can't remember off the top of my head who's actually playing.
There's
Wait,
like 100 bands, dude.
I know it's crazy. I'm
Nuts.
sorry. I'm just gonna have a quick. I know I'm moving my
Huh?
camera around, but I'm gonna have a very quick.
You can have a look.
Yeah, just very quickly because this will be a nice reminder for me. Actually, this will probably stoke me up. Um, when were we young, let's go. Line up, Mike. Oh, Fall Out Boy. Although they haven't confirmed what album they're playing, but
Ah.
yeah, that'll still be a good one. Coheed. They used doing In Love and Death. In Love and
Hey,
Death was truly such an underrated album in my opinion. So In Love and Death. Who else we got there? Newfound Glory doing Sticks and Stones. My God, that was like a formative record for me. So that is going to be unreal. Um, who else we got? Say Anything. I'm not sure which album they're playing, but that's great. One D is doing Greatest Generation. Champs, our good friends in State Champs doing The Finer Things. The Starting Line doing Say It Like You Mean It. Phew, there's some amazing records that are going to be played.
man,
So yeah, can't
that's
wait, man.
holy shit, dude. You're
Yeah,
gonna
that
have
was a
a
nice
good
reminder for
couple
me. I
of
just got super stoked again off Starting Line and Newfound. I was like, oh my God, yeah, back to being stoked on when we were young.
Oh yeah. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna swing around here. You're gonna pick me up, put me in the suitcase and the wife, and we'll
Yeah,
take you with you, and we'll be like potato man, like in the
yeah.
Simpsons.
I'll put some crackers and some beers in the suitcase for you, and yeah, we should be sweet. Yeah, got you, got you.
All right. I'll be waiting, be taking it down. But in the meantime, brother, hey, thanks so much for hanging out on the show. It's been really cool hanging, and hey, enjoy your taco party this weekend too.
Yes,
Yeah,
shout out Death by Tacos. Can't wait for that. That's going to be banging. Yeah, yeah, that's a great one. If you ever find yourself in Chester, if you're still in the suitcase after when we were young, I'll take you to Death by Tacos. That place is fucking perfect.
just put a little hole and just with a
Yeah, a little
put 'em down there.
straw, some crackers. Yeah. Or we can stay in the suitcase and I'll feed you tacos. And yeah, that can be. No,
That would just be filled with sauce.
just a mess, just a
Just
total mess. Yeah.
just we need to chuck this off the up here. We need to get rid of the evidence. But anyway, dude, we're gonna have
And
all the
man,
links here and,
yeah,
and on
yeah,
the website. Brother, you take care, have the best year, and get your asses back to Australia.
we will do. Thank you very much. I will cheers you with my nice cup of English tea that my fiance just bought me. Cheers.
Oh, nice. Hey,